Hello, Christian Henson from Spitfire here with another quick tip. I guess I'd refer to myself as a recovering musician, so this kind of figures in the way that I compose. I like for it to feel like a performance, and I think there are many producers and composers who love the more graphic design approach to music making with the fine tweaks and airbrushing that you can do. But I mean, I have to say I admire these guys, and I wish I had their patience, but unfortunately I'm inherently impatient, lazy and greedy, which means I take too much on, put off doing it, and then have to work out ways of shifting heavy minute loads with as little, well, I wouldn't say effort, but certainly as quickly as possible. And one area I've been recently experimenting with is programmed rhythm tracks and how I can construct them on the fly to picture hitting cuts in a cool DJ style, regardless of where you are in the bar, with the ability to very quickly adjust and tweak further down the line if, say, the edit room makes cuts and changes the shot order. I always feel with rhythm tracks, these are the first to suffer when non-musical changes are made, so in the picture. So I thought about devising a system that doesn't really mind where you are in the bar, that you can compose on the fly and tweak quickly and simply further down the line. So my first step was to set up a scale of sine waves with each note on a separate EXS. So if we have a look at this one, this is for C, we hit edit, and then you'll see that there's just a region on C3, which is a sine wave that's looped. And then we go to C sharp, you'll see I've just transposed it down one. So that note plays when you hit C sharp. So they're all on their own group. So let's have a listen to that. And you'll see the meters down the bottom. So we don't actually want to hear the sine waves, so I just was demonstrating those to you. You'll also notice they're all the same pitch. I'll explain why I've done that in a minute. So I created a loop that was based on fantastic performance by the Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer Chad Smith, part of our Grange library. So that's basically Chad with a few bits and bobs added, and then I smashed the bejesus out of it with a compressor. Then I sourced some variants, which I'll just quickly play through here. Some with Chad's natural fills, and some just chopped up bits and bobs. And so all fun, funky stuff. So if we go back to our sine waves, you'll notice that each of them is routed to an independent bus. Bus 2, bus 3, bus 4. If we look at the actual loop track, which is just a bit of audio, you'll notice that I've got a noise gate very sensitively set with hardly any smoothing in the attack, the hold, release, but it's been controlled by a unique bus. So for the C sine wave, that goes out at bus 1. The C loop is sidechained via bus 1. So this note is controlling this loop. And then as we go up, we'll see that bus 2, and then bus 2, bus 3, etc., etc. So the net result is I've made a kind of 13-way DJ style switcher that you can switch between the different loops regardless of where you are in the bar, but the musical integrity will remain. So let's just lay something down. So that's a lot of fun. What I then do is tighten this up, just stick probably a slightly swung 16 on that. Let's have a look at those notes. And then what I do, clear up a few of the schnorbitses. And then for the stuff that's not layered, I do a forced legato like this. Got my own hotkey for that. So everything joins up. So if you imagine these two regions represent two different locations in the film or sequence that you're working to, and the cutting room returns you a new version of the film where they've annoyingly moved the location further down into the bar at quite an unmusical point, you can just simply shift the gate point and it'll maintain its musical integrity. So remember, this isn't triggering, this is actually gating. It's not like chopping and stuff and re-triggering. But I, after playing around with it, also created some chops to literally physically chop the audio up. And this is also fun. It's maybe not as effective as just using it as a switching device, but this is the kind of thing that you can do with chops as well. I do a lot more tweaking and playing around to really smooth it out. But the key thing here is it's really easy to adjust these cuts that you're making. I mean, specifically really for media use. I imagine a track like this you could use over a panicking team on The Apprentice or something like that. It may sound like a bit of a faff to set up, but once you have it done, it's an excellent template that you can pull into other sessions, insert new content in, and off you go. And it's also really fun. It kind of gives you an extra dimension to programming because you're not just stuck with the loops. You can then just go in and actually edit the loops that you're triggering and gating and all of that stuff. So I think it just gives an extra dimension. Thanks ever so much for watching.